It's not difficult to piss off Bruce Wayne. Really, pretty much everyone has gotten under his batsuit at one point in time, even the heroes he's come to respect, which aren't actually many either, let's be fair. So today we're returning to our list of the top 10 superheroes who annoy Batman, with a part 2. This time around we'll be including a few characters from the Marvel universe who've ticked off the Dark Knight, some who have irked him for no reason other than existing, and many who have perhaps just goofed up once, but the Cape Crusader, aka the King of Grudges, has held it against them. Man, it's gotta be tough to be Alfred, don't you think? All the drama. Let's jump in. In at number 10, Supergirl. Superman isn't the only DC Kryptonian who doesn't get along well with bats from time to time. The post-crisis Supergirl was introduced in a 2004 story arc called The Supergirl from Krypton, which brought her back into the mainstream continuity. Batman had discovered her spaceship in the harbor beneath Gotham, and in a state of confusion she goes on an unintentional rampage throughout the city. Batman knocks her out with kryptonite and we find out that she's Superman's cousin. But the thing is, over time, it's revealed that she's got quite the temper, which didn't bode well with the bats, and he constantly questioned whether or not she was actually really related to Superman, which caused the two to clash on more than one occasion. She also went a little bit evil a handful of times. So yeah, I kinda get where he's coming from on this one. In at number 9, Superboy. In Superman Volume 4 Issue 8, Superboy gets on Batman's nerves, along with Batman's own son, Damian Wayne, who is the current Robin. Now for context, Jonathan Kent, who is Superboy in Rebirth, becomes besties with Damian, even though at times the two have had quite the rivalry, especially in the beginning. Now in this issue, which was part of the In the Name of the Father story arc, Damian and John have a bit of beef. Robin has been keeping him under surveillance, and that doesn't really bode well with John. The two end up getting into a tussle. After that tussle has been broken up by Batman and Superman, John loses his temper again, and a brawl breaks out. Once again, and Batman is clearly disappointed in the both of them. He and Superman end up disciplining them by making them work together to accomplish a series of challenges, ultimately bringing the two Super Sons closer together once they learn how to be teammates. Up next at 8, Billy Batson. Man, it's not easy to dislike Shazam. Poor dude. So in the animated movie Justice League War, Bats gets really ticked off by Shazam throughout the narrative. Despite Batman being impartial to putting younger superheroes in danger, the character finds Billy's presence annoying at best, with Billy always jumping into action much sooner than he should. He also declares that their team is called the Super 7, which gets groans not only from Batman, but from pretty much the rest of the Justice League team. Side note, the moment in the movie when Green Lantern introduces Flash to Batman is comedic gold. It's easy to see why Green Lantern ended up on our part 1 list, isn't it?
Hey there, what's up? Shazam!
Moving on to number 7, Bat Cow. Oh man, Bat Cow. Bat Cow was added to the Bat family in Batman Incorporated Volume 2 Issue 1 back in July of 2012. She was rescued from a slaughterhouse by Batman and Robin, Damian Wayne Robin, in order to test her for diseases that she was potentially infected with. Now it was revealed that she was carrying a synthetic hormone that was derived from Professor Pig's pharmaceutical experiments, as a means of using mind control by putting the hormones in animals that would then be killed and turned into beef used at the Dark Tower restaurant chain. Damian became a vegetarian after the experience and named her Bat Cow. Batman wanted to get rid of the cow because of the hormones, but Robin would not have it. Eventually Batman decided that they could keep her. But at first you can imagine how his boy wanting to keep a cow and make it part of the Bat family could be irksome. Bat Cow, also known as the Battling Bovine, would eventually be sent to Wayne Enterprises dairy farm, where she would run around with a cape and eventually become a member of the Legion of Super Pets. Naturally. Moving on to number 6, Harley Quinn. This one is kind of a no-brainer. Harley Quinn has long terrorized Batman alongside the Joker. Ever since the character's creation, she worked with the Joker to bring him down. While she pales in comparison to the kind of threat that the Joker poses for Batman, she has proven to be an agile opponent at times. And often, when her character has fallen into comedic relief territory, she's been more than a nuisance to him. These days, Harley is an anti-hero, and while sometimes some of her attempts to do good are a tad misguided, like solving the homeless problem by feeding homeless people to cannibals, she has generally renounced doing evil things in general. She even broke up with the Joker after the New 52. But speaking of nuisances, one time she farted in the Batmobile in the Batman and Harley Quinn animated film, which was released in 2017, which seemed to gross out Nightwing more so than bats, but hey, dude has probably smelt a lot worse anyway. Think about it, yeah.
Oh.
Batman also doesn't seem to think much of Nightwing's social activities with Harley either. Moving on to number 5, Wonder Woman. Let's be honest here. The Justice League film was anything but good. It was a giant pile of confusing garbage that had some pretty decent actors in it who couldn't manage to save it because of how poorly written and executed the movie was. Joss Whedon couldn't even save it, and he's the dude who made Buffy and did the first 2 Avengers movies. If anything, this number should be Batman being annoyed by his portrayal in the DCEU, or whatever it's called these days. But for this number, we're looking at a specific annoyance of his in the movie with Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, which in itself is a faux pas because how dare you be annoyed at Gal Gadot? She's like the only good thing that movie has in it. Anyway, in the film, Batman has a much more cold and calculated approach when it comes to collecting the heroes together to join the Justice League, whereas Wonder Woman is much more sympathetic, operating under the idea that if the other superheroes want to join them, they will. This irritates Batfleck in the beginning, but eventually everything works out and the Justice League prance off to save the day from the bad Steppenwolf CGI. Yay! Moving on to number 4, Deadpool. So Deadpool and Batman have never actually encountered one another in anything that's canon, but that hasn't stopped Deadpool from being all meta and making fun of the Caped Crusader. So yes, this number is a hypothetical one. That being said, as far as hypothetical numbers go, Deadpool has done some pretty solid taunting of Batman on his end, and it wouldn't be a surprise if there ever was a Marvel DC crossover with the character that had him irritating the crap out of Bruce Wayne's other half. Now in the new 2018 Deadpool issue 1, Deadpool got a dramatic new backstory that revealed he was the one to kill Bruce Wayne's parents. Sounds absurd at first, but really it's just part of a grander story of Deadpool trying to decide on a new backstory for himself, in an attempt to get himself more work. He also takes a shot at other famous superheroes and their origin stories too, like Spider-Man and Superman. Now after he takes young Bruce's parents out, he announces, "Sorry kid, but your parents had to be grade A pieces of shit or this other grade A piece of shit would not have paid me to take them out." He also tells the young Bruce to not grow up and be a cliche, and to stay away from caves, all before Deadpool decides that this isn't the right story for him. Now if that isn't a way to get Batman to hold a grudge against you, I don't know what is. Moving on to 3, Huntress. The Huntress character has changed a few times over the years. Initially she was Helena Wayne, the daughter of Batman and Catwoman who hailed from Earth 2. After Crisis on Infinite Earths, she ended up returning to the main continuity, but now is Helena Bertinelli, who decided to turn on her mafia lineage and become a superhero. She had a bit of a chip on her shoulder too, and when she arrived in Gotham City, she just naturally assumed that because she was a hero, she could work with Batman. Good luck there, girl. Batman rejected the notion and did not approve of the way that she fought crime, since her methods were pretty violent. Which is, yeah, kinda hypocritical, all things considered. Over time, he came around and she chilled out on the violence a bit, and even managed to secure a spot on the Justice League. But it took a while for her to earn his respect, considering he basically called her a killer once upon a time. Moving on to 2, the Hulk. It's another Marvel character on this list. In 1981, in the DC Special Series Volume 1 Issue 27, Batman took on the Incredible Hulk in The Monster and the Madman. Wonder which is which. In the story, the Joker steals a gamma gun and forces Bruce Banner to transform into the Hulk, which draws the Batman out. Naturally, the Joker loses track of Hulk and asks Batman for assistance, who manages to track him down. Hulk realizes this and attacks Batman in a violent rage, thinking that he is a bad man. This forces Batman to use a more absurd tactic. He disguises himself as an old man to convince Hulk to return to the Joker, which is all part of their temporary truce. Eventually, Hulk and Batman team up to defeat Joker, who gets locked up in jail. But needless to say, Batman has a bit of a rough time with the Green Monster prior to them working together, including a moment where the Hulk almost crushes Batman's spine. Poor Bats. Always having back problems thanks to big hulking characters. And finally, in at number 1, Spawn. In the 1994 one-shot Spawn Batman, written by Frank Miller and Todd McFarlane, the duo take each other on when Batman visits New York City. They see each other and immediately get into a brawl, naturally, and Spawn loses his cool and declares, "I'll break you in half," to which Batman responded, "Sloppy fighter, stupid fighter, no discipline." Broken English? Eventually, they come to the realization that they're actually after the same bad guy, so they end up working together, but still treat each other with a whole lot of snide. Later on, Frank Miller would reveal that this crossover took place within the same DC universe as his Dark Knight Returns and All-Star Batman and Robin. In the latter, Batman is known to be a massive dick, so his cruelty towards Spawn in this is no surprise. Miller likes making his Batman a total asshole. Alright, there we have it, friends. Which of these characters do you think Batman has the right to be a dick to? And what characters do you think Batman should have a grudge against that we didn't include on either of our lists? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know. If you dug this video, spread the love, hit that like button, and subscribe if you'd like to hang out with us some more. And be sure to take a look at the playlist that's currently flashing on your screen. In the meantime though, I've been Kelly Pally. Thanks for watching guys, I'll catch you all in the next video.